Happy Kingdom books available on Amazon. You have to be strong enough to endure these things. You have to approach women. With today's social media, she's constantly being hit on. Women are always in the game. You have to stay focused. We are men. That's what we do. What's up, fellas? Good morning, and welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Glad you could join me here today, as always. Today's topic is going to be reading. Yeah, I know that sounds a little boring, but it's good for you. It's kind of like my father told me years ago. When I wouldn't eat my peas, he said, learn to like them. So I don't like them, Dad. Learn to like them. Yeah, okay. But before we begin, hit that like button and subscribe. Check me out at marksinspirationalguidance if you'd like to get my help personally. I have some books out, Coming Back Home, The True Adventure of Mark Daniels, and The Power is Within, available on Amazon. And if you're watching this on Instagram, you can check me out at YouTube at Mark Daniels, Mark's Inspiration. We have about 1,419 subscribers, and I appreciate you guys. Glad you're here. So we will begin. Books. I've been reading for about probably 32 years, I say. I read a couple of books when I was young. I read The Hobbit when I was about 15, but that was about it. And of course, I'm discounting the reading I did in school because I didn't enjoy it. But now I read because I believe in education, although I'm a high school dropout. I just believe in education differently than what they teach in school. School is good for some people, but it's not for everybody. That type of school, that type of education. There are many forms of education depending on what you want to do in life. But I find that reading builds up your mind. Just like exercising in the gym builds up muscles, your mind is a muscle. We'll say it's like a muscle, compare it to a muscle. And when you read, it exercises that muscle. You use it. What do they say? If you don't use it, you'll lose it. Same way with your mind. Now, most people come home, they say the majority of American citizens, USA, come home and watch 4 to 5 hours of TV every night. It's all created for you. You don't have to use your imagination, which is one of the most valuable assets you have. And it amazes me how people discount it or pay no attention to it. When you consider everything in the world created by man was created within the imagination of man. It was there, it was a subjective reality before it ever became an objective reality. But yet we don't teach this. We don't teach anything about this in school or anywhere, as far as I know. Sometimes imagination is even ridiculed. Oh, you got too much imagination. Oh, you're imagining that. Yes, everything was imagined before it became a reality. But yet, we don't put any emphasis on the imagination. Einstein said imagination is more powerful than knowledge because knowledge is limited. Imagination is unlimited. I think Napoleon said, imagination rules the world. Marcus Aurelius said, what did he say? Imagination, your life is died by the color of your thoughts or your imagination. I don't know. I just heard that one again yesterday and I forgot it. You'll have to look that up for yourself. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Your thoughts create images in your mind. So when you're reading, You read and you actually, your mind creates the images from the words that you are reading. I've just finished 3 books by Alfie Kingdom. The first one was Conversation with Souls. This book here, it's a good book. Alfie Kingdom Books, Amazon. He's written over 30 books. He's had a couple of #1 bestsellers on Amazon. This is Conversation with Souls. This is really deep. Okay, The Key to Your Crown. This is another good book. I had like 2 more pages and I finished this one up. Very good. And The Dominance Mindset of a King. These books will help you grow and learn. They help you at game, they help you at life. Life is a game. If you choose to look at it that way, you can be real serious about it and think of it in another way. But really, life is a game, and you need to learn how to play. You need to learn the rules of the game, how life works. And by reading these books and other books, you can learn how life works. Because a lot of people out there have a lot more wisdom about life than you have, because they have more experiences. It doesn't make them any better than you. It just means that there's an opportunity there for you to learn from those people. When I meet someone who's older than I, like 80 years old or whatever, I ask them questions about life because they have a little less than 20 more years experience of life than I have. Some people offer advice and some people say, well, I don't know. But I listen to people. I listen to people who have more experience in things that I want to do that they are already doing. Surround yourself with people who are more experienced with you or experienced than you in what it is you desire to become or do. Listen to those people. I heard a saying once, God gave us 2 ears, and 1 mouth. We should do twice as much listening. Most people don't listen. And there's another thing about reading. When you're reading, you're completely focused on listening to the words you're reading. Now you can read out loud, that's not what I'm talking about, but the point is you're focused on what you're doing. Many times when people listen to other people talk, they're thinking about something else, or they're thinking about what they're going to say next, or they're evaluating it and not really listening to every word the person's saying. I'll give you a good exercise for active listening, for intensely listening to someone. In your mind, every word they say, repeat that to yourself. For example, do it now with me here. Every word that I say, you repeat that word immediately after I say it. This keeps you focused on the topic and the subject that the speaker is talking about. It takes effort. And listening is a skill. Listening is an act of love. Now, when I say love, I don't mean this, oh, I'm so in love with you, I want to have sex with you. That's not what I'm talking about. That kind of like passionate, what do they call it, eros love? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about listening to someone who needs you to listen to them. Maybe you don't want to. There are times in my life where I don't want to listen to a person. But if I start listening and take a genuine interest in what they're saying, all of a sudden what they're saying becomes interesting. People are amazing. Everyone has a different life perspective. Just like Afi here, his books, that's life from his perspective. But in this case, his perspective is well-rounded because of the many life experiences he has had. He talks a lot about game and dealing with women. And I know what he's saying is true because I have experienced it also. And what his books have done for me, it's awakened or reawakened things in me that I had forgotten about from years ago. Because up until I was about 30 years old, I was quite the player, right? Had a lot of women, all right? And I understood women's nature. Now, I didn't know it in a way that I could explain it. I mean, I could mentor someone, and I did mentor people, but I understood how it worked, and I intuitively knew what to do when a woman acted in a certain way. But through the years after I got married when I was about 31 or 32, and I started trying to live the life of a beta, they call them beta, blue pill person, or the traditional, what they say, that it's a successful marriage, good father, good husband, steady, dependable. And I'm not saying those things are bad, but I was so steady and so dependable, I was predictable and boring. Women can't stand to be bored. You can do just about anything you want to with a woman, but don't bore her. And if you're a dependable, steady husband, that sometimes bores a woman. I mean, I would have girls flirt with me and I would apologize to her for that. I couldn't help it. It wasn't my fault. But yet I apologized for that. Why apologize for something like that? But these are the things that I did because I thought I took on society's agenda of what a man is supposed to be if he's a good husband, a good father. And actually that's far from the truth. I mean, a woman does not want a man like that, contrary to what she says. A woman really does want a man that all women want to be with and all men want to be like. She wants to know she has a prize. And she wants to know that that prize is only there because she takes care of it. She doesn't want to know that you're going to be there no matter what for her. Now, I know a lot of women would argue with me on that point, but it's not true. She wants to be able to depend on you, but she also wants to know that if she screws up, if she doesn't take care of you, somebody else out there will. She wants to know that you could walk out that door in a minute if you needed to and leave her behind and her kids, which are your kids too. I've done it. I had to do it. I had to walk away from my kids and my family. Fortunately, by doing that, I got all my kids back. Didn't get the wife back. She's an ex-wife now. But it was difficult for me. But if a woman knows she's got you by the balls, whether it's by her femininity, her seductiveness, by what she carries between her legs, or by your attraction or your attachment to your kids, she can't help but use that to manipulate you to get what she wants. But when she knows that you can walk away if you need to at any moment to keep from being manipulated, she will not use that to get what she wants. Now that may sound like a bad thing. You think, oh God, how could a woman do that? I would never want a woman who'd done that, who would do that. Yeah, I understand what you're thinking, but what you don't realize is for thousands of years, that is the only power women have ever had. It's the power of manipulation through their sexuality or through their femininity. Just the same as us, for thousands of years, we've had our power through brute force. Now, that's not to say we didn't use wisdom and cunning and ingenious ideas and different things like that. But when it comes down to sink or swim, we back up. Our backup is brute force. Okay, with women, when it comes down to the bottom line, the sink or swim, their backup is manipulation, sexuality, femininity. They use that to get what they want if all else fails. You've seen it in the movies where the guy's about to kill a woman and she starts trying to seduce him because that's her power. The man's power is his strength to kill her. But here in modern society, we've given the women the illusion that they have the same power as men because a man, for example, if a woman comes up and hits a man 2 or 3 times, he best turn and walk away. Because if he doesn't and he nails her and she hits her and she falls down and something bad happens to her, even if it doesn't, he's going to be in trouble because he used force, although she was using force against him. So most men will cower away, back away from a woman if she comes up yelling at them, assaulting them, or whatever they're doing to the man. In the old days, it wasn't like that. A woman would never even think of doing that. But in our modern society, the laws protect the woman no matter what she does, damn near. You don't have a right as a man to protect yourself in the same manner you would if a man come up to you and treated you the same way. The reality is this: if I'm a man, let's say I'm out walking with my mother, and a man comes up and spits in my mother's face, I could punch that guy or beat the hell out of him, and I would go to court probably for assault. But the judge would take into consideration what happened, what this guy did. He disrespected my mother, and I was defending the honor of my mother. And more than likely, I would get a much lighter sentence, or I would get let off. I may get let off completely, considering the situation. Take the same situation, a woman comes up and spits in my mother's face, and I beat her up or knock her down or whatever, the same as I did the man, and my ass is going to be in trouble. That's just the way it is. Is it fair? No, it's not fair, it's not right, but that's the way it is. So many men back down from women now where they wouldn't have 50 or 100 years ago. 100 years ago, a woman respected a man. She wouldn't do that because she knew the man could use force against her. Now they realize they're very protected, so they act like men. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. And the man has to let her act like a man and allow that woman to disrespect him because he has no recourse. He can't hit her. And if he talks badly to her, she can go up and say that he threatened her. And what was there a situation just here the other day where somebody accused somebody of doing something? I think it was the Tates, wasn't it? My sons were telling me that they were accused of, what do they call that, trafficking, human trafficking or something. Some girl said that she was there and it wouldn't let her go. And the police immediately came and arrested the Tates just because she said it. Now think about that, just because she said it. That's the power women have in our modern society, just by her words. But come to find out, it was all bullshit, so they let the Tates go. And are there any repercussions to her? Probably not. I know there wouldn't be here in the U.S. Many times women will accuse men of doing things, horrendous things, and then they find out later, fortunately for the man, that it's not true. But the woman goes scot-free. There's no repercussions, although that man could have gone to jail for many years. One of my mentors helps people in the prison, and there are many men in there who have been falsely accused of molesting their kids when they went through a divorce, and there they are, there they sit. It happened to me. Fortunately, I was able to prove that I wasn't doing anything. But some men aren't so lucky. Some men aren't so fortunate. I was. Because women, at the last resort, they will use and do whatever they have to get what they want. Now, not all women, but the majority, because it's in their nature to survive, just like us. And the last resort for us is to use physical strength to kill if we must to survive. Okay, that's what we'll do. And we've done it throughout history, which is apparent in our wars and certain altercations of personal people and feuds, different things like that. That's what happens. So, but back to reading. Reading is so important. You can read about people. You can read about. The reason I know these things is because I read, I study, I listen. I listen to YouTube videos, I listen to audiobooks, and I read books. I really think out of all that, the reading is the best because you can be completely focused on what you're doing, as opposed to audiobooks and like YouTube videos. And they're good, but I usually listen to those while I'm doing something else. So you do pick up the knowledge. It's better than listening to the radio. Most people want to listen to the radio. There's nothing wrong with music. Everything in good measure. Everything in moderation. I love music, but I take a specific time to listen to music. I don't listen to the commercials because I don't want to be programmed with someone else's agenda, nor should you. So I'm getting tired now. I had this vertigo yesterday. I get that occasionally. I don't know if it's from when I boxed or what. It's like when you're drinking, if you've ever drunk and got drunk. The room starts spinning before you get sick. It's similar to that. So I'm a little disorientated from this. I feel a little like I'm in a different world, a little strange. But it'll pass, it always does. And this is for my good. I don't understand that. How could this possibly be for my good? But somehow it is. That's the way you gotta believe. And you need to believe that too. Believe that there's a conspiracy for you to help you succeed and to achieve your goals. Believe that everything that happens to you is conspiring to help you to achieve your goals. And it will come to pass that is the truth. And even my speech feels a little bit slurred this morning. Okay, I don't drink, but if I did, people think I was drunk. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Thank you again to my 1,419 subscribers. Share this with a friend, and I'll see you tomorrow.